Hello, everybody, and welcome back to some more Sky Adventures with Janky Nick. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, Nick, we
What's
are back
up?
once again aboard
Don't
our
worry.
dome.
If you're watching, please don't worry.
Do not
You have
panic.
not missed any episodes.
Take a deep breath.
Take a
into
deep
the
breath.
nose, out through the mouth.
Or through your belly button, because I do that sometimes.
If you can, exhale or inhale through your belly button. We do here at Gok and Jank HQ highly recommend that you do that as frequently and as often as possible, because it is indeed good for the mind, for the heart, for the soul. You know, everyone, I feel, Nick, at some point in their life should try and breathe through their belly button. It just makes logical sense. You know, it just makes logistical sense. It's in a place that gets a lot of air, a lot of breathing. You know, I always wear like tank top shirts, Nick, that only come up to above my belly button, and so constantly just letting the air in and out. You know, it's so freeing. You know, to be able to breathe.
Why do you think they're called tank tops? Is it maybe because when people stuck their bodies out of tanks, like
I like
you
that.
only saw up to where their belly button was? Yeah,
I don't think that's the reason that they call them tank tops, Nick. But I like that logic, and you know what, Nick?
Thanks,
I think that's true. Yeah, I'm gonna completely
you know what I
180
just
on
got,
that.
Isaac, from that bloody
I could
loot
see
bag.
Nick in the freaking chat. You got
Freaking
diamond.
hell.
That is
Get right in
incredibly
my
lucky.
transmuter.
Oh my
You
goodness!
transmuter.
Could I have
Do you
that
want
as well, Nick, so that I could
you want to
place it
transmute
in my transmutation table? So, Nick, we should probably address the elephant in the room.
Yeah,
AKA
or the elephant
fact
that we're currently looks like that we're inside of. It looks like the elephant is the room
that we
Isaac.
are inside of. Yeah, I like it. We did a little bit of base, like, renovating, Nick. We overhauled our base. We did a 60-minute makeover on our base between episodes.
Our base. More than 60 minutes, I'll tell you that much.
we did a
Tear
1,060
tear duct rolls down face.
I mean, it didn't take too long, Nick. I mean, we built, for those who don't know and who haven't seen us use this before, this is the enhanced building guide. It's fairly easy to make. 4 glass, 2 ender pearls, 2 redstone and 1 torch. And then all you gotta do is you can toggle its mode to a bunch of different building modes: sphere, square, dome, cuboid, octagon, pentagon, hexagon, decagon, dodecahedron. I don't know how many gons
All of
it
the
goes
gons.
up to. All
until
of the
it's
gons.
gone. We
And
used
then
this in Fullcraft.
we did to build our original
people,
dome. Yeah.
You know, yes.
And then when you turn it on, it gives you an idea of the outline. So you can see here that the remaining bits of the sphere that we've cut out, like these little corner bits here, are still there. And then there's 2 different building guides, Nick. There's the normal building guide and then the enhanced building guide. The normal building guide will just show you where to place the blocks. The enhanced building guide will let you right-click on it to place the blocks for you, which is so much easier, Nick. It means you don't have to go around and physically build all this. We just had to get all the stone.
Much
which
better.
We now have in abundance, Nick. We have got so much freaking cobblestone because we did chunk load the area.
Let's have a look.
And we left this whole system running. And so, Nick, now we've got 7 stacks of triple compressed cobblestone. That's 400.
It's incredible, Isaac.
It's incredible. Compressed cobblestone, Nick. It's crazy how much cobblestone we have, Nick. And thus, we have just a ludicrous amount of EMC.
Like in this stack, per stack, we got 46 grand. So we've got about 300k of EMC on the ready.
On tap, Nick, just ready
on
to
tap.
go. I love it. I've just dropped a stack in there. I've got 47,000 EMC, Nick, just ready and raring to go. Flipping heck. I love it. I love it. Also, at Nick's request, we used these Futura blocks from Chisel.
Yeah, I went up to Isaac, right, this morning at about 11:20 p.m. and I was like, oh, please, man. Oh, please, Isaac. I just really want to use a Futura. Please. Please.
He was on his knees, you know, you could see it in his eyes. He really wanted this.
It was like one of those anime, you know, where there's like their eyes are massive and
his
there's,
eyes
there's
just
like
became
watering.
It was crazy how big his eyes were.
It was pretty romantic.
Oh boy. Do you know, like, it's crazy, right? That most human eyes are like the same size. Like, from human to human, despite how big the human is, the eyes are, like, very similar in size.
So that's why babies are so cute, because they've got massive eyes, because they're always the same size, right?
And it's like when
always
you see,
in proportion.
You know, because even in the real world, you know, there are people, like, usually shorter women who tend to have, like, that look of having, like, a mass, of, like, having huge eyes, right, relative to the rest of their bodies. But it turns out they're the same size, Nick. They just look bigger relative to the size.
Maybe they just have a smaller face. Rest of face.
Yeah, that's crazy, Nick. That's crazy. If someone offered you larger eyes, would you take them?
Yeah,
Like if someone came up to you and said, Nick, we've got the ability to make your eyes larger. No added benefit. You know, there's no plus side to this. Like you don't get better vision. You know, nothing really good comes out of it.
The plus side is purely based on the fact that I've got nicer, bigger eyes. You know.
Yeah. You think you'd be more attractive with larger eyes?
Yeah.
You think that's the key feature that you're missing right now is just your eyes are too small.
They're just too small.
Every time, Nick, I wake up in the morning, I look in the mirror, and I'm just like, gosh dang it, my eyes, they're so tiny, so small, so freaking small. Because I'm a pretty tall guy, Nick. You know, I'm pretty large. You know, I'm just over 6 foot tall.
Right.
And not quite 6'1". And so, you know, my eyes, they're maybe a bit smaller than normal compared to the size of my head. And you know what, Nick? This leads me nicely into... So, for those who are wondering, before Nick and I just completely tangent off here into podcast mode, what are you working on, Nick, real quick?
Hi.
What's your plan?
What I want to do is I want to rip this transmutation table because it's a quest and we've not handed it in.
Oh, of course, yeah. One thing I did notice, Nick, that you're going to be a little annoyed about is that look at the rewards for the transmutation table quest.
Rewards for the transmutation... right.
Marble.
Wow.
And it hasn't.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
Well, I've just saved a screenshot in despair.
Nick and I, you know, we were deciding what we were going to build this entire like new base out of, and Nick was like, you know, I like marble, and so
I love marble,
and we couldn't find the marble in JEI, and it didn't seem like there was a way we could make it, and all that, and so eventually we decided we're not going to use marble, and then freaking as soon as we built it on, Nick, I opened up the quest book and I saw that marble is so easy for us to get. All we have to do is pick up the transmutation table.
Oh my god!
And we would have the marble.
Isaac, right. Next time you log on, this place is going to be so different.
Just completely redone with marble. I love it, Nick.
Can I rip up this transmutation table with the stone pickaxe? Yes, I can.
Yeah, why not?
There we go.
That's right. Also, if people are wondering, our Tinker's Construct Smeltery is down beneath us now. You know, it's right down there at the bottom doing its thing. We haven't used that yet. I've just moved it. And we did make a few of these feral lanterns that you may be able to see around us. They're a little expensive, but they're not too hard, especially once you've got a trillion EMC like we do. Let me show you the recipe again real quick here. Lantern. These guys, they're really cool. You can see the description there. It says slowly illuminates a large area. Removing the lantern causes the light to slowly decay. So you put them down and they cover like a normal area, but then over time they slowly but surely cover a larger and larger and larger area to the point where right now we've got one lantern right at the bottom of the dome, one lantern right at the top of the sphere, and those two are providing light for everything. You know, if I press F7 here, there are no places within this sphere for mobs to spawn, which is pretty cool, Nick. It's pretty cool. You know, it means you don't have torches all over the place. I think it is Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
$20 bills, quite cool.
Ooh.
4 mana steel ingots, also quite cool.
I like it. I like it.
An infinite capacity upgrade for a barrel. Isaac.
Also, we can actually like infinitely. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah,
quite cool.
Yeah, that's very cool, Nick. Very cool. I dig it. So what I was going to say, Nick, before we you know, fill people in, you know, we've got a range of heights on the show, right? The average male here in the UK, at least, I believe, is like 5'10", right? They're 5'10" inches tall. I'm a little bit taller than that, only ever so slightly, at just over 6 foot, and you're a little bit shorter than that, right?
I'm like 5'5".
Nick's like 5'5", so Nick's
I'm a little boy.
And you know, Nick, I'm gonna come at this from a different angle because in the media, Nick, and in the world at large, you know, it's often portrayed as if being tall is better, right? As if it's better to be. And I'm here, Nick, to refute that today. I'm here to stand up for all those tall guys who are just fed up of the hassles, Nick, and the inconveniences that come with being... Yeah, the inconveniences, Nick, that come with being tall. It's a burden that we have to carry, Nick, that I think is not fully appreciated by the world at large.
Let's hear it.
I've been taking public transport a lot more recently, Nick, freaking getting on a train, right? And, you know, I bet you get on a train, Nick. I bet you just plunder in, probably on first class, you know, as you do. But even if you were if you were in standard class, Nick, like the rest of us, you'd probably just jump in, you know, you'd sit down, you'd be like, oh, look at all this leg room that I've got. I can just sit here. I've got so much space.
Is that I can stand up, Isaac, completely straight in front of the seat and not, my head won't touch the
Oh,
the
that's
cabbage,
crazy.
the cabin baggage.
No, they're not the cabbage. Here in the UK, we have
holder.
cabbages. Everyone carries around a cabbage, and so they've always got to have spaces to put the cabbages in. It's a whole thing. But Nick, I get on a train. There's no leg room. You know, my legs are digging into the back of this person's chair. My shoulders are too wide, Nick. I don't fit into the chair properly, so I'm like hunched forward.
It's not my fault.
My back's not
you're
correctly
HAF,
set.
Isaac. Sorry, man.
I just don't.
Can't help it.
The public transport and public seating spaces, Nick, are not designed for humans of my size to sit in them, Nick. And you know what? It's not great. I was on a bus, you know, the other day. I went upstairs to the bottom layer of the bus, Nick. It was a double-decker bus. The bottom section of the bus was full. And so I thought, you know what? That's fine. I'll go to the top level of the bus, Nick. I walk up the stairs and then instantly bang my head on the roof of this bus because the top level must have been about 4.5, maybe like 5.5 feet tall, so that no regular person could have stood up on that bus.
5.5 feet tall. Perfect. That's what I love to hear.
Nick could have stood up there, but
I could have stood up there.
I had to live with a headache for the rest of the day, Nick, because of that.
Damn, I'll tell you what. You would love. You would absolutely love my bedroom here then. At university.
Oh yeah.
Which has two massive slants on either side.
I see what you mean. Right.
Therefore, let me send you a picture. You would love it. I'm going to send you a picture of it when it was.
I'm ready. You know, and again, you go out into the world, Nick, and they make it. You know, they show pictures of tall people reaching up, you know, onto high shelves that nobody else can get to. But you know, I rarely find myself doing this, Nick.
In that situation.
Yeah.
What are you saying? You rarely find yourself in that situation.
Yeah, because I regularly. You go to a store, they don't put the products that people buy on super high shelves. Like no supermarket is putting like Heinz ketchup up out of reach of the average height person. So never, like, unless you're into some obscure thing or want some obscure item, you never get to flaunt your height by, like, you know, by walking up to a short person and seeing them trying to reach a product and saying, "Hey, can I reach this product for you, Nick?" That never happens because no product that people want is ever that high up, Nick. It's always at height level. You know, the world is built for the average height man, and thus, you know, being taller, it's a burden, Nick. It's a burden that.
It's a burden. There you go.
Yeah, and also you stand out in a crowd. You know, as a short person. You know.
Yeah, but if you go to a gig, Isaac, which I know you do regularly.
Every day, yeah,
you can see.
You can. That's true. I'm not arguing that it's without its benefits, of course, right? You know, there are benefits, obviously, to being of taller stature, but I think there are also negatives, Nick, that are unfairly brushed aside by the mainstream media, right? By the public.
It's always them. It's always them.
By the public at large. And thus, you know, I wanted to bring some of these issues to light. You know, if you know a tall person, if you're watching right now and you are a tall person or you know a tall person, you know, you go to that tall person and, you know, let them know.
Go to them.
Go to them.
That's all you have to do.
Just let them know that you understand their pain. You know, you feel. You know, you feel for them. You know what I mean? You understand what they're going through. Just let them know that, okay?
Just let them know.
They need to know. How do you feel about your height, Nick? Do you feel like it's easier being shorter? Do you feel like you would rather be
extra inches?
I mean, couldn't we all, right? But do you think so? You would rather be a bit taller?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'd reckon like another
foot.
6'5", let's do it.
See, that would be horrible. I bet being 6'5" is not a fun experience.
One of my friends is 6'8".
Oh my jeez.
6'8", and he is a large boy.
How do you talk to this person, Nick? You being 5'5".
I have to use a megaphone regularly.
I'm gonna say those ears have got to be a good distance away from you, right?
Yeah, it's a struggle, man. It's a struggle.
I can imagine, Nick. I can imagine.
Are you making an iron stiffen mesh, Isaac?
I'm making many iron stiffen meshes. Yes.
You hand them in. Make sure you hand them in.
Oh, okay, I will.
Because it's a quest.
Would you like me to make a diamond stiffen mesh whilst I'm at it?
Yeah, please. I made the flint one, even though it's probably unnecessary, and handed it in.
We did already have them, but that's fine. It does require 6 diamonds, Nick, for me to make that diamond stiffened mesh, which is
I mean, that's just
very
pretty easy.
expensive. I mean, I don't think we should do it just yet. I think we should hold on to our EMC for the time being. But we can do that later, Nick. We can do that later. But yeah, you know, it was mostly just the train thing that really peeved me off, you know, because it's just, especially long train rides, Nick. If you're on a train for multiple hours at a time, it is insufferable to be above average height. It's too much. Too much. I see.
And
people shouldn't have to put up with that, Nick, you know? And so this is why I am calling for a public... I want all of the trains and buses in the UK to be refabricated to, you know, to hold taller people. I think what's happened, Nick, is I think that all of the trains and buses were made in a time when people were a little bit shorter, and thus as the population has grown a little bit, you know, because the human population does kind of increase in
So when
height.
you get on to your, you know, cross-country train, that was built in 1923.
My high-speed rail.
Built for the short population. Because that happens regularly, man. Whenever I get on that train, I'm like, oh, lads, it's one of those ones from the 30s. When I get on that London bus, that hybrid London bus, I'm like, oh no. It's one of those ones from pre-World War. But when people were shorter, what am I going to do? Let's help massive sign.
I'm glad that someone understands, Nick, you know, because I feel like man. A lot of people
I'm always here to help.
Oh.
Always here to help.
For those of you who maybe live in different countries, it's you know, it's quite bizarre being here in the UK with all the really old trains and buses. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Oh boy. Oh, flipping out. Okay. So we need some form of power generation, Nick, because we don't have any kind of generator yet. Maybe I'll just make like this coal generator here. That seems easy enough, just as a temporary source of power. So what I'm trying to work on here, Nick, is kind of like an early game pseudo-applied energistic system that I want us to achieve.
What is it?
It is Project Red, Nick, believe it or not.
Project Red?
Project
AE
Red.
Systems in it.
It doesn't have AE. It has a AE replacement that we are going to use for the early game here, right? And I'm not going to lie, Nick, I think you're going to hate it, but I think it's cool, and I think that it's going to be interesting to use. Okay, so we're going to use it. But the cool thing is, Nick, if you come over here real quick, I'll show off what I'm doing here. We've got this. Oh, yep.
Got some vibranium, Isaac, from Ender.io.
Some vibranium, eh?
Yeah.
That's
vibrant crystal.
That's a big word. Oh, okay. I need a redstone torch real quick here. Just do that. Yes, I've made this this zappy machine. You've seen this before, right? The atomic reconstructor.
Yeah, no, I've seen the zappy machine. The one that goes
Yeah, exactly. So what we can do, Nick, I don't know if you've ever seen this, but I think we've done something similar to this before, right? Where you can put lenses onto the front of the zappy machine, right? So you can put like a lens like this on the front.
I have.
That one right there is a lens of color. And the cool thing about this, Nick, is that what we can do, Nicholas, is we can throw down any kind of dye in front of it, in this case bone meal, and it will change it. It will cycle through the dyes in the game. So that's good. That's ink sex, and then, you know, green dye, brown dye, blue dye, cyan dye. And so if you need a certain dye, you can just cycle through a couple of times until you get the one you want. It's specifically useful for ink sacs, right? That's really useful to us.
Because obviously, you know, I don't want to flood the base and to get octopuses to spawn.
Exactly.
So that's pretty
good. Who would? Question. So many buttons. Yes, I will answer.
Not sure if you'll know the answer, but when you go fishing in Minecraft, how big does the water have to be?
I thought you were going to just say, when you go fishing, Isaac, just in general, like, how big does the water have to be? I think any size will do, honestly. Like, I think this is fine. This is quite the image, though. You with these glasses on, just stood here fishing in this tiny pond.
Technicolor, you know what? You call them you referred to Technicolor Dreamcoat earlier, right? Just before we started. I only was made against my own will to watch that, like, last week.
Oh, yeah? Like, what, the...
So...
What did you watch?
So it was like Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat or whatever it is.
Yeah, is this like a movie or like
it's like a movie, but it's on YouTube, but it's like an old movie.
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
I was in the kitchen and my housemates I started referring to it, and I was like, "Oh, what's that from?" They were like, "Oh, it's Joseph's Technicolor Dreamcoat," and I was like, "Oh, that sounds horrible." They were like, "What? You've never seen it?" And then I was like, "No," and then they made me watch it, and it was just the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, to be honest. It was just like a school play that was extremely weird.
Nick, fun fact, as a child, I took part in a school play of Joseph and his Technicolored Dreamcoat.
Oh, wow.
I played Joseph's father, Jacob, in that production,
right.
and there's probably video
So you
footage.
had to give Joseph the Technicolor Dreamcoat?
Yes, I did. This is the truth, yeah. There's probably video footage somewhere of me doing that. There's also footage that I hope never surfaces.
Never comes to light.
Never comes to light. I will make it my personal mission in life to hunt down and destroy any copies of that footage that I can find. But it probably does exist somewhere. But yeah, it's I remember vividly being in that performance, Nick. It was quite the experience. Would not recommend, probably, unless you're into that kind of thing. In which case, you know what?
Sure.
Do what you want.
Do what you
It's
want.
your life. Yeah. Here we go. All right. I got a silicon boule, Nick. That I'm cutting up into some silicon. Yeah, it's quite expensive, this A replacement thing. You know, it's not super cheap, all things considered, but it's worth it, Nick. It's going to be worth it. 100%. 100%.
I'm going to, yeah, sure. I agree. I'm going to check this phishing statistic.
Okay, yeah, go for it. I don't know if you would call it a statistic. In fairness,
what
but
have people experienced?
what do I need to do
right.
here? I need 2 of these, eh? Okay, you got to craft up some red silicon compound, of course, and then we're going to smelt that red silicon compound into infused silicon, obviously. So I'll throw that in there. What else do I need here? I also need red Illuminar and green Illuminar, as well as more diamonds. Red Illuminar is red and glowstones. I think we did have glowstone. Yeah, we definitely do. Nice. So we can take a lot of that. I dig it. And this is where, for those watching, this is why I built the Atomic Reconstructor with the color lens here, because we're going to need quite a lot of these different Illuminar colors. Red, green, I think we need like some purple and stuff, so that's why I'm making that. What is the consensus, Nick? What is required?
I'm looking. Randomly chosen from 5 to 45 seconds. It's not telling me a size of water body here.
Right. Again, I don't think it matters.
I mean, clearly not, because it's not told me.
What did you Google search, Nick?
I'm looking at the Minecraft vanilla wiki on the topic fishing and catching fish. The bobber must be watched closely. Small splashes can be seen around the bobber. Position of the player doesn't matter.
Googling how big water need fish Minecraft.
Minecraft fishing, how big water?
Yeah.
Body of water should be 1 block by about 10 for catching distance. Is that even a sentence?
Yeah, 1 block by about 10 for catching distance.
Yeah, it looks like only 1 block. Right, here we go.
What didn't you understand about that, Nick? Do you ever find it weird? Like, I don't know about you, Nick, but whenever I Google search something, I tend to try and make my Google searches coherent. But then whenever like, you know, whenever there's like a thing that shows like the top 10 Google searches or like most popular Google search in like England over the last week or something, they're always just incoherent babbling nonsense, right? Like it's always just like, it's always like Brexit when Theresa May ? Like it's just like, or you know, how
that's
babies
how I
made.
Google things.
Like really,
because I feel like that's more useful to the search engine.
You just throw in keywords.
Question.
You just throw like, oh gosh, so you're the one making that.
I'm the one who's getting that up the top 10 list, Isaac.
Oh, I hate it.
Believe it.
I hate it. Like, why not just type in what you want to know coherently into Google? Like, it feels unnecessary to obfuscate
because
it by
it's a waste of my fingers, Isaac. I don't need to use those words.
Oh, gosh dang it, Nick. Gosh dang it. Don't need to use those words. Okay. Oh boy, these are pricey, Nick. This is pricey stuff, but that's fine. I think you're gonna love it. I think you're gonna love
the fishing
it,
quest, Isaac.
Oh yeah, it's
and it gives us this thing that works. I just had to stand a bit further back. It gave us a thing called a fishing net, right? So what I think, how this works, if I place this above this body of water and put a chest above it, it just generates fish. Like this. And then if I put a chest down on top of this... like that, maybe.
I am unconvinced.
Right, well, we'll see what happens, all right?
Let's have a look here. Okay, so the fishing net is a block that makes fishing a lot easier. Just place it above some water and it will, given a little bit of time, automatically catch fish for you. To store the fish, just place a chest above the fishing net or let the item spew out. Yeah, so this is work. This is correct. Yeah. This will work. Do you have a golden ingot by any chance, Nick? I saw you holding on to one earlier. I would like to add it to my transmutation collection real quick.
Get it on, man.
I currently have it. There we go. Do you have it set up? Have you got the gold?
The gold, yeah.
Nice.
I've got I think pretty much every ingot I've come across is in there, so that's good.
Cool.
I love whacking almost everything into here because you can search for things.
Yeah, it's so cool, isn't it? It's just like having...
That's why I'm just putting literally everything with an EMC value that I think of, like, actively I put it in.
Yeah, it is like having an AE system that
generates
everything
for you, right?
Yeah, that's just complete. Yeah, it's good. It's good. So I'm almost there. This is going to be interesting to say the least. So let me see here. I need like item. Let me go to @project red because I think that's going to make it easier for me to find these item cards. So I think that I need a broadcasting chip. I think I need broadcasting chips and then maybe also like a responder or maybe an extractor chip. I'm actually not too sure, but I'll start with the broadcasting chips and we'll see where those go because these are going to be interesting. Do we have any sugar seeds and or sugar in general? I sifted a fair bit of dirt, and so I feel like we should have some sugarcane seeds lying about. Maybe. Oh, we do. Totally nice. Cool. Next question. Do we have Snad in the pack? Oh, we do, Nick. We freaking do.
Oh my god, bloody Snad.
Yeah. You remember Snad? Oh,
I remember Snad.
Boom.
God, it's the most awful concept in the world.
What you got against Snad,
Nick?
Look at this. Boom. Block of Snad.
Oh, God. I'm running away.
All right, so that is going to grow the sugarcane faster than normal, but I would like it preferably to grow even faster. And so I'm going to get a watering can real quick, and I'm going to use that as well. All right, here we go. What are you working on right now, Nick? What is your current
I'm about to put down a water chicken objective in a little pen so that it gives me water eggs.
For any
because that's required.
So you can also, Nick, make a nesting pen. If you make that instead, like that will hold the chicken in one space, like it won't move around.
Okay.
It does require a fair bit of wheat.
To be fair, I think I do need to make one for a quest anyway, so I'll make one of those.
Yeah, go for it. So you've gone straight to the chicken quest line there.
I've been just looking over and all the things, you know, seeing what's easy.
That's the Nick motto right there. Let's see what's easy and let's do it. Oh boy.
Do we have any wheat?
I looked at the quest line. My brain instantly thought, what are the easiest quests to do on here? And I was like, you know what? I bet the easiest quest is probably just like handing in the ingots. And then I clicked the ingots tab and I saw that you've done the 2 quests for just handing in like gold and iron.
What are you saying, man?
Oh, that's great.
I'm being productive, getting the work done.